I'm going to talk to you about how to create a Google slide presentation and then adapt it using Nearpod so that we can have more engagement with our students. So the first thing I'm going to do is go to the waffle and I'm going to go to slides. I'm going to open up a brand new slide presentation that's blank. You may have one that's already existing, and that's okay also. You can add features to a presentation that already is completed. So that might save you some time if you already have something that you initially liked. And then I am going to delete some of these frames because I like to work with things using just copy and paste instead of some sort of template. So the first thing I'm going to do is I've pulled up a question. Sorry, that has a little bit of a boo-boo in there. But I pulled up a question from a website, and it's on stairs or squares to stairs. So this one is from YouCubed from Joe Bowler, and it's about patterning. So I am going to click on the picture that I want, and I'm going to paste it in to my slideshow. And I have this thing about making sure everything is centered. So then I want to make a new slide, and again I'm going to delete some of these frames out of it and maybe duplicate the slide a little bit over and over again so I can add in some more details. So what you want to use if you have a snipping tool, you're going to want to save that piece that you snipped. You'll go into File and then Save As, and then you'll save that into one of your folders on your computer, and that way you can attach it if you're going to add in any of the Nearpod features, because the Nearpod features will add into a new slide. So what I'm going to do is create a new slide with it. I'm going to go into my add-ons, and I have one for Nearpod. So this one says Open Nearpod. And I'm waiting for it to come up. I am going to, it may ask you to log into Nearpod. I already had logged into it before, but you can log in using Google or whatever account you use to create that. And I am going to go to one of my favorite features of Nearpod, and that's Collaborate Board. So I'm going to be adding in a Collaborate Board. I am going to click on the picture, and I am going to add in the picture that I just showed you. And in my document, I saved it as Growing Stairs. And so I'm going to click Save, and it's going to upload that image onto my board. And then enter the topic. I want to ask the question to the students, how do you see the pattern growing? And I can change styles if I want to. I can create it to where it looks like a Padlet or anything like that. And then I can click Save. So this will allow the students to interact with that activity at the beginning. It also helps to check for understanding with the students. This component, sometimes it takes a while for it to load. So you want to wait for a moment just to see that it pulls up onto your screen. And you can see mine just started to go there. And sometimes what I'll do is I'll copy and paste that image just so that we know what that initially looks like. Although you can show that to students if this picture does not look how we want it to. And if you want to change anything about it, you can always go to Edit this slide, and it will allow you to change things. Okay, so now let's say I want to add on a component that says Draw It. So the Draw It feature, I can give instructions. So on this one, maybe I want to say Draw Figure 5 below. And that way I can check to see that students understand what they are doing. And this feature allows students to draw what they are seeing in the image and how they interpret what the next slide is going to be. And then maybe I want to add in an open-ended question. So open-ended question might be something like, how many squares are in figure 10? Explain how you know. And that feature will also allow students to engage with that by answering. They can type in their answer to that question. If it's something that is problem solving, I suggest using something like Draw It in that previous slide, because that will allow for students to show what their thinking is. They can draw, they can use, if they have a tablet, they can use their finger and draw a picture on that. And it's a really nice activity to do as well. And then the next part, maybe I want to insert a poll in there and say, can you use 190 squares to make a stair-like structure? And then perhaps I just have two answers, yes and no. And we can just take a vote of what students think the response should be. And then maybe we have a classroom discussion centered around that. So I added on a few of these little slides in there. And if you want to make it dynamic or add little nice details to it, backgrounds and so on, that's something that, you know, it just depends on if you want to be the type of person that embellishes your slides. I think those of you that know me know that I like to put backgrounds in there and play with fonts and all kinds of things. I can include quiz questions in there. I can do a matching pairs activity where I might have an equation that matches with the visual representation, and then I can also have the number of squares and how many what figure that represents and so on. So I can create all different types of questions that are in there. Matching pairs is really good if the students are doing problem solving because it raises the cognitive demand for them. And then after I have everything completed that I want to have complete, I can go to Save and go to Nearpod. So if I wanted to add any additional slides in between that are for direct instruction, I can do that as well. This type of lesson I tend to do as something that's exploratory. So I am just going to allow students to engage with it and then answer questions as they come up. So then the last thing I'm going to do is save and go to Nearpod. And it will open up Nearpod for you. And I have 5 slides. You can see this box is populating here that says almost there. What it's doing is arranging for my slides to have that interactive feature. So I can do 2 things. One of them is I can do live participation, and that allows me to control and pace the speed of the lesson. The other thing I can do is offer it as a self-paced lesson and then just give the students a link or a code, and they can do that on their own time at their own speed. So it's really up to your decision making there. And then I can also preview if I want to. So I'm going to look at the preview ahead of time just to see what the students will be seeing and see if I like the feature on there. So I didn't like this idea of how when I uploaded that picture, how it turned out. So I may want to figure out another way to upload a picture on there, and maybe you as the teacher can go back into that saved file and post that as one of the first collaborations that can happen on your collaboration board. And that way it's there for students so they can see what the original picture looked like. And then I can also go into, I do have the option, let me go back real quick, of when I do a Collaborate board, it will ask me if I want to approve student messages beforehand. So it does give you the opportunity to see what students are writing and what pictures they send before they post it to the entire class. So it's a little bit of a safe zone there. And then I have the draw it. So the figure 5, I might want to click on the image and draw what that's going to look like. And even if my drawing is not super pretty, I can at the very least show that I have an understanding for how the image is building. Okay, and if I see something like this, I know that there's a mistake in there, so I can quickly correct who has a grasp of the concept and who does not. And then my open-ended question. This is the one that says how many squares are going to be in figure 10. All I do is click on the box and start typing. And I can give an explanation of how I know. And then the last one is the poll. And it's saying, can I use 190 squares to make a stair-like structure? I'm going to guess yes, but who knows if it's correct. And then all I have to do from there, that's just my preview of it. So that's just me seeing if I like it. And then I can either offer it as live participation for students. So I'm going to click on that real quick so you can see it. And it gives a code. I can also hover over link. And then if I click on link, it will allow me to copy that link. And I can share it in either a Google Meet in the chat, or I can send it in the chat in a Zoom session, whatever I want to do. I can also post it in Google Classroom if I want the students to work on it on their own. And you can see that there are lots of different ways for us to do that as well. So once that code is copied and we give it to students, they are able to interact. So I hope this is going to take care of some of the features that you want to add in. If there's more that you want to know about it, please send me an email and I'll be glad to go into some of the other features. Like there are virtual field trips in there, and ways to add a Flipgrid where you can have the students create their own video and share it with you about what their thoughts are. So I hope this helps you, and go ahead and contact me anytime if you want to see any more of these features. Thank you.